Hello. It's been a while. I'd like to talk to you about building better bases in Foxhole. Okay. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to choose where your base is going to be. Okay. And this will determine the function of the base or vice versa. Determine the function of the base and then figure out where you want to put it. Okay. Typically, when building a base, I would try to do it in the same hex as the fighting or, close enough. All right. If I'm going to be running partisan operations, I might want to have a little camp. All right, camps are great. They're encampments. It's the most basic of all the bases. Okay, it's a little green building, and all you have to do is take the CV and build it. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. Okay, and then once you get that base built, you throw soldier supplies within the base. Okay, you throw soldier supplies in the base, and you can spawn there. Okay, so a CV plus 300 BMATs plus soldier supplies means you can spawn at that base. Okay, typically you're going to want to determine how close you put the base to the road. Okay, Logi usually will not go very far out of their way to make deliveries. Okay, if they have to go off road, they will not make the delivery. All right, for a fighting man, the obstacles are bullets and guns and danger. But for the Logiman, he will not go off road. Okay, he doesn't want to wait in line. He really doesn't want to do much of anything. So you can't make things difficult for your Logi guys. You have to make a very clear path from the road to the base. Okay, now the other kind of base that we call them bunker bases, you're going to need a shovel. Okay, dig out 6 little hexes or six little squares. All right, and then you can throw a ramp on it. So what you're going to do, right, is you're going to take your shovel and you're going to scoop away. You don't need any more resources than just a shovel to do this. All right, but it's very time consuming. It is time consuming. All right, so go ahead, dig out 6 bunkers and then put the entrance. You can put the entrance facing the road, or you can put the entrance away from the road. Okay. And then once you do that, right, once you put you want to put the entrance on, right? This part is kind of tricky. It's a little bit tricky. You've got to get the construction vehicle. Take the construction vehicle to the hex, to the little square that you're trying to turn into the ramp, okay? And then you hit F, and then you hit E on that particular square. And that's going, it takes you from upgrade mode, and then, yeah, you'll see, okay? So in recap, to make an actual bunker base, first you need a shovel, okay? You need to dig out 6 squares. Then you need a CV. You hit F to go into upgrade mode, and you hit E to select the square, and then choose the ramp, all right? You're going to need like 300 BMATs for this, okay? Once you have that is basically a tier 1 base, okay? That's a tier 1 base, but what you can do is you can upgrade all the little squares around the base or the around the ramp. All right, you're going to want to do that. You want to upgrade them to tier 2. Okay, you cannot upgrade the actual ramp until later. It's got to do things with like checks and whatnot. Okay, so that's the gist of the base. You can build encampments or you can build bunker bases. Those are the 2 bases that you can build. I'm fairly certain that's the end and the beginning of the buildable bases. Okay. So you're gonna be noticing with your hammer, right, that and your shovel, that there's a lot of stuff you can do. Okay, I am going to tell you this: your base will become more powerful with less trenches. The less trenches you have, the better. Okay, use less trenches. Please use less trenches. Please use less trenches. Because what happens is the collies jump in them. Okay, I don't jump in trenches just because I don't like having to get out of them. It seems to get me killed pretty often when I have to like climb out. Okay. Don't build the trenches. But if you're going to have trenches, if you're going to use trenches because you need to connect the bunkers, use the trench connector. Okay, it's much smaller than an actual trench, and get it just so you can connect it to the next bunker. Okay. The bunkers have many upgrades, but basically the main core structure here is going to be 3 bunkers or 3 bunker segments right next to each other with 2 weapons on each side. Okay. So there can't be anything in the center, but there can be a weapon on each side. Now, maybe it'll be AT, maybe it'll be a machine gun, maybe it'll be a rifle garrison. We'll get into that. We'll get into all those things. Okay. But taking things down a notch, taking a step back, going back to the encampments, something that really goes well with the encampments are the pillboxes. All right, I really like the AT pillbox. Okay, in fact, all the pillboxes are great. They all do. They all behave so differently. Okay, the AT pillbox is probably the best because you can get inside of it and you can shoot 360 degrees all the way around. Now, the AT pillbox will not shoot at infantry ever. It will never shoot at infantry ever. It will never shoot at infantry. Okay. Next, there's the machine gun pillbox. The machine gun pillbox is very similar to the AT pillbox. It has a bunch of health, not as much as the AT pillbox, but it only has this like 45-degree arc of fire. Okay. It just has this like L. And you can build very bad machine gun pillboxes. You can build extremely bad machine gun pillboxes because when you end up setting up like a line or a net of them, all you have to do is take out one, and then you can get behind the others and use them as cover to take out the rest. Because of the machine gun pillbox's small arc of fire, it needs to be used. I'm not going to say situationally, but you need to be aware of every situation you use it in. Okay, so we've got the AT pillbox that has 360-degree view. We've got the machine gun pillbox that has 45-degree arc of fire. And then we've got the rifle pillbox, okay? The rifle pillboxes will be pretty bread and butter at the beginning of the game. And they're pretty good. They've got 360-degree view. The downside with them is, unlike the machine gun pillbox, they don't have that much range, right? Like when I used to be careless, and there's plenty of careless times, the machine gun pillbox will just like catch you unawares. So just run into it. It shoots you, and you're like, oh my gosh, and then you're dead. The machine gun pillboxes probably get me more than any other AI in the game. And then so there's the rifle pillbox, and the rifle pillbox is basically worthless at night. It's basically worthless at night. Okay. With the rifle garrison and the rifle pillbox, it makes a certain sound. Okay. It makes like a loud, like kind of like fucking kind of thing. Whereas like a normal rifle would be like something like that. Okay. It makes a hella scary noise, but the guy inside is stupid. He is very stupid. He always misses the first shot. Okay. So, I mean, maybe this is just like the way I move, because I'm always like moving fast or zigzag or whatever. Always misses the first shot, misses the 6th or 7th one, but it's the 8th one that fucking gets me because I'm too confident in myself. Okay. The bad thing about the rifle pillbox is it only takes 3 mammon grenades to toss and blow up. So basically anyone can do it. Anyone can do it, and anyone can do it very easily at night and make away with it. So just be careful when you're relying too much on the rifle pillbox. Okay, every structure that is capable of doing something, like, okay, I don't know how to phrase this. Basically, except for watchtowers, if you see the flag is going to let you know what's going on. Okay. Watchtowers are always active. You'll never see a watchtower that isn't active. Okay, I take that back. There's times when the watchtowers don't go active, but it's very rare. All right, and I won't bore you with that detail. But all the other buildings, they have a flag, and that flag is going to tell you 3 very important things. First of all, the color of the flag will show you what faction the structure is for. Okay, so blue means good, green means bad. Okay, long flag means AI, short flag means no AI. Okay, if there is a short flag though on a garrison, there could still be a guy in there, and there's no way to tell. There is no way to tell if there's a guy inside. Okay, shooting at pillboxes with anything less than 50 cal, in America we call it 12.7 50 cal. Shooting at pillboxes with anything besides 50 cal is a It's not only a bad, useless gesture. It's very bad. Okay. Each of the pillboxes, they have two ranges. Okay, there's their visual range, which changes as the day goes on and waxes and wanes, and the night comes in. And then there's the retaliation range. Okay, so if I'm in the darkness and I shoot a machine gun pillbox or a rifle pillbox, right, which is the rifle. Okay, if I hit that, they're going to shoot back, even if they can't see me, especially if they can't see me. And if there's anyone between me and them, they're going to shoot through that person to hit me, unless it's an enemy. All right. If you shoot them, basically, suddenly they get night vision and they know where you are until you move out of their sight. Okay. So if you're trying to destroy bases, please do not try to do that with rifles. 50 cal is great. How do you get AI, right? Because some bases have it, some bases don't. You could, like, if this next thing is kind of complicated. So we're gonna go over a view of what we've gone over so far. We've talked about building encampments. We've talked about building bunker bases, just the beginning part, okay? And now we've talked about pillboxes, all right? So we're gonna move up to garrisons, okay? Garrisons are a lot like pillboxes, except they have to be connected to each other, all right, in order for the bunker supplies to flow through, okay? There's like every base has like a certain range, and I believe it's 80 meters where it will produce AI. Some bases have a longer range than 80 meters, all right? But 80 meters is a very important number because that is the range of a mortar shot, okay? So you want basically your periphery, you want a perimeter to keep the mortarmen out. Okay, that's basically what that's doing, is keeping them away from mortaring your base. If they hit the defenses, oh well, but that little tent for the encampment is very, very, very fragile. So now we got the garrisons, and the garrisons are much like their pillbox brothers. You've got the rifle garrison, you've got the machine gun garrison, you've got the AT garrison, all right? And they perform very similarly. In order to use a garrison, you actually have to make a door, okay? So if you, with your hammer, hit F and then hit E on the bunker segment, right? And then make a door and then get inside, and you can hit Q. Once you're underneath the actual garrison, you can hit Q to enter it, okay? It's a very great place to be inside, and those rifle pillboxes are great because you have a 360-degree like view, and it's like with a rifle, you won't be stopped. All right, when you are inside of a structure, there are two things that will get you. Okay, there's only two things that can get you. One, if they destroy the entire structure while you're inside of it. Okay, so if you jump out the last second, you'll be fine. All right, it's kind of like jumping out of a speeding vehicle at the last moment and saving your life, except it actually works. Okay. Or they could gas you. They could gas you. The interesting thing about buildings is, if you want to get in them, it doesn't matter what your encumbrance is. It doesn't matter how much stuff you have. You could have 9 kataras and you could still go in there. I don't know why you want 9 kataras. The katara with 9 magazines would probably be better. But you could do that. It totally works. So bring as much stuff as you want in there. Bring as many filters, as many bullets. Okay. People do not use these garrisons and the pillboxes correctly because they think it's just for the AI. They think that the AI is there they're the only ones that can defend. But the thing is the AI cannot see into the darkness. All right. If there's a tank coming, you can see the tank, right, in the darkness, moving its evil shape and its lights. But if it's not within the AI's visual range, they won't shoot it. Okay, so that gives you an extreme that can let you, with an AT rifle, get the best of both worlds, because you can shoot out at the tank before it even gets within range to hit your garrison. Okay. So how AI works is you need to set your spawn at the base, okay? You need to set your spawn, and then you need to vote on the side. It says base upgrades. If you do everything right, there'll be a little green check mark. But no matter what, you should always be checking on base upgrades. You should always be checking on those base upgrades. Every single time you should be checking on those base upgrades. Because it's one of the most important resources you as a soldier can bring. All right. And it's free. It's a free thing you get. You can have a home base and you can have a forward base. Okay. And if you plan this correctly, you'll be able to like almost teleport across the map according to how you die. Oh, maybe I need to go get some more ammunition or stuff for the front. I'm gonna go respawn at the home base. Or oh, I need to get back in the fight. I'm gonna respawn at the forward base. Okay. Home bases are like town halls, relic bases, and then forward bases are the stuff that players make, like encampments and stuff like that. There is another kind of base. I just realized it's a border base. Okay, border bases are interesting. Basically, if the conditions are right, and I don't know what the conditions are, but you're going to see the broken border base there. All you have to do is walk up and hit E, and it builds itself, and it comes with a bunch of bombs and guns and all sorts of shit. So, yeah, the border base. The border base is great. For the third time, though, I'm going to try to begin talking about how AI works. So basically, you want to vote, right? And your vote's going to be on the side. And the base does calculations that it runs, all right? It looks at a couple different things. First of all, it looks to see how much shit is in the base. Then it looks to see how many players are around the base, like doing activities around the base, building things. It also checks to see how big the base is. It checks to see how many base upgrades there are. But the most important thing is that vote, all right? So it does this check every once in a while, all right? And you're never like guaranteed to pass the check, but you're never guaranteed to fail it either. I don't think. I've seen bases go up hella quick with just a couple people, and I've seen bases. I've seen it take forever for bases to go up with a bunch of people. But there's a lot of different scenarios. So basically, look, if you want AI, vote. That's the long and the short of it. If you want AI at that base, vote. Okay, but if you go to another base, your vote. If you set your spawn to another base, your vote goes with you. Okay. Another very important structure here is the watchtower. Okay, the watchtower only costs 60 BMATs, and I think that everyone should constantly be building watchtowers and destroying watchtowers. I would say at least an eighth. Okay, probably a 20th of my entire experience in Foxhole it just revolves around watchtowers, building them, breaking them, finding them, avoiding them. So the way the watchtower works, right, is if you look at the map, you can see like these white areas of awareness. Okay, they're not everywhere. They're only in certain places, and that's places that we have watchtowers. Okay, the watchtowers, they show you where the enemies are. Okay, it doesn't matter if the line of sight is blocked or if they're in a bush or what have you. Okay, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Okay, if you're there, they'll see you. The only thing that does matter is if you're wearing some sort of partisan outfit. Okay, that's the only thing that matters there. But the watchtowers are so important. Okay, and you want to basically put them between two trees if you can, because there have been plenty of times where I've looked at the map, I've been looking for an exact watchtower I want to destroy, and I didn't even see it because it was behind trees. Okay, so you want to make sure, right, that your watchtower is basically, if you want to know like in game on the ground the perspective is, like basically if you can zoom and see the tower, you can still walk back for about 20 meters, and that's the range, just about. Okay, I think the range is about. Okay, that's about it. All right, it's basically the watchtower sight range is just out of your visual range. Okay. So we got watchtowers. The next thing. So you're building all these things, right? And you're using these B mats, and it's really great. It's really cool because you're building stuff and you're getting your upgrades, right? But you show up the next day and everything's fucked up, and it's like, oh no, the partisans did this, or the alts did this, or there's alts in my walls, something like that. But no, actually, every structure suffers decay. Every single structure suffers decay. Okay. So everything I've talked about, everything you can build suffers decay. I don't think town halls or relic bases suffer decay. I think any of the developer created buildings do not suffer decay except for the border bases, because I know they definitely suffer decay. But how you want to stop decay is G subs. Okay, the most sought after resource in this game are garrison supplies. Okay, garrison supplies. It's everything you need to keep a base running. And so as the bases get more advanced, they end up consuming less supplies. Okay, if you get like cement, the cement doesn't go away that fast. But basically, you need to constantly be feeding your base garrison supplies all the time. There's also bunker supplies. Those only work if everything's connected. Okay, if you have like a ring of bunkers like around. So sometimes it kind of makes sense to have garrison supplies and bunker supplies. That way you're like, well, fuck, if I run out of this, at least the bunkers get taken care of. But the way the garrison supplies work is if you have a base, anything within 80 meters of that base will get supplied and it won't rot. Okay. The reason why rotting is bad is because it happens. It happens with everything. Okay. Every single building structure in this game has 3 different models. All right. Thank you, devs. You didn't have to do this, but you did. Thank you, devs. There's full health, 66% health, and 33% health. Okay. If it looks really, really awful, you know it has 33% health left. If it looks just medium, you're about halfway there. Okay. But you'll just show up to a base and then all of a sudden everything will be rotten and shitty and gone. And you'll be like, fuck. How could have this been prevented? You know, how could have this been prevented? G-subs is how it could have been prevented. And that's not really the fun part. I hope that the devs change the G-sub like deal, because right now it's just so sought after. We can't make enough of them. And there's And so, you know, this in itself, right? This problem could be an opportunity for any, you know, like if you were going to be smart about it, basically what you could do is just get go around a ring of factories and keep pumping out G subs and like keep distributing them all day. And that would fix our issue. But that, I don't know. So yeah. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate, please avoid trenches. They're very bad. But if you're going to use trenches, because sometimes you do use trenches, like the best bases have like a perimeter trench that goes all the way around. And those ones get pretty cool because what you can do is you can put barbed wire on one side and then you can put sandbags on the other. Okay. You actually need to take a piece of barbed wire. You hold the barbed wire, you bring it up to the trench, you hit F, and then you hit E, and then you can set up. If you scroll with the mouse wheel, you can actually like position where you want the little barbed wire segment. Okay. So the barbed wire should be facing the enemy. The sandbags should be facing the friendlies. Okay. They can't shoot past the sandbags. All right. They can go through the barbed wire, but it takes an eternity to go through the barbed wire. It takes an eternity to go through the barbed wire. So they normally won't do it. Okay. And the thing about the barbed wire is all you have to do is just touch it and you get stuck. Okay. Now there's also barbed wire, just setting that up. I think barbed wire is a fantastic tool. It's really awesome. You can set it up. You can set it up like in a fence. The barbed wire fence is almost OP. All right. Vehicles can't go through it. Neither can infantry. The downside to it compared to just the barbed wire, because you can just throw barbed wire out there, is the barbed wire is longer. The barbed wire, though, if vehicles can pass through, no issue. Okay, so basically, the best barbed wire is set just outside your pillbox or just outside your perimeter, so they can't throw grenades. Okay, or if they want to get a shot, just be careful though with where you're throwing the barbed wire, because if you make a base where there's no like easy way to get in and out for your infantry, they're just gonna cut through it. They're just gonna say, "Fuck this! I'm tired of this." Okay, so be careful. All right, just like with the Logi, the Logi needs to be able to get in, and the infantry need to be able to get to the front line. Okay. The next kind of obstacle are the tank traps. Tank traps are very good. Mainly because there was a couple French guys at this bridge, and they're talking to me like, "Captain." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Do you have mammon?" And I was like, "No, I don't have mammon." They're like, "Oh, we need mammon." And I just got out my wrench and I undid the tank traps, and I'm like, "No, you don't need any mammon." I think they threw like, I don't know how many mammons it takes to take out a tank trap, but I think it's a lot. Okay, don't throw mammons at tank traps. Just use the wrench. It's free. The best thing to do with the tank traps is to set it up on the road and then mine the outside of the road. Okay, mines work weird. All right, I'm going to tell you what mines are. I'm going to tell you what they do. Okay, mines only take out armored vehicles. It doesn't take out the armored Logi, but all other armored vehicles. So if it's an armored car, if it's a tank, if it's a tankette, if it has more than just vehicle armor, it will detonate. Friend or foe, it doesn't matter. Okay, so if you are in a tank and you drive over a mine, it will blow up, but that's it. I'm not sure who can see mines. Okay, I know infantry can always see mines, but I'm not sure if that's friendlies that can see your mines when they're in tanks or what. I don't know. Basically, I don't know what the difference is between friendly mines and enemy mines. I think they behave exactly the same, except if the mine is covered, it has a different shadow. So one shadow's red, one shadow's green to show the mine's friendly or enemy. Mines are fantastic. They're really, really good. Okay, you want to throw a lot of them down, and you want to throw them in a lot of places, in a lot of weird places. Okay, my finest mine adventure. Okay, let me tell you about my finest mine adventure. It was it was the middle part. It was the middle part of the last war. And that was harder than actually losing, okay? Because when you're actually losing, it's like, I don't know. It's, for me, losing is better because I have to like get my ass in gear and be like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta break this funk," okay? But when you're constantly trying to break out of a rut and just nothing seems to be working, that's basically what it was. All right, it was a stalemate. It was a long, nasty stalemate that had been going on for a long time. I had still been training people. At that time, so I had like a squeeb squad, but they were very bad. They were very, very bad. I tried. Okay, well, it wasn't that they were bad. Okay, it's just the mission. Sometimes less is more. So basically, we took AT weapons and we tried to stop the tanks, and the tanks were just, dude, the amount of violence those tanks produced, it was shocking. It really, we did like 3 or 4 attacks against the tanks, and it completely failed, and the morale went down. Okay, morale took a I fell all the way to the bottom. Okay, but no one complained or gripes. Okay, so I guess it could have been worse. And so, I keep telling them, I'm like, we need to get mines behind those tanks. We need to get mines behind those tanks. All right, I just had like a submachine gun. I think I had a Liar, and I had like 8 or 9 mines. Okay, no, not 8 or 9, like 6 or 7. Okay, so I waited for the tanks to attack, and my friends got killed, and the base got really messed up, and I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to help them out. I didn't do it. I didn't do a thing. I just let it happen, but it was dark, and I got behind the tanks. Okay, I didn't get right behind them, but they took a path off road. Okay, during the day, there's this bunker right next to that path. And so during the day, I took my little hammer, right, and I upgraded the base. All I needed was 20 BMATs. In this hammer, I hit F, then I hit E on the base, and I built those windows. I built 2 sets of windows, okay? I said base, I meant bunker. So now this bunker that has been there that no one's been using the entire time, now it suddenly has windows. But nobody knows that because it's been there the whole time. So I go out into the darkness, and I set up my 6 little mines, and I wait in the bush. And the tanks start rolling back. And they're actually rolling backwards in reverse because they don't want to get hit from the base. So they're rolling with their ass towards me. And when you know it, it goes right over the first mine. And what happens is the vehicle doesn't get very damaged, honestly, but it throws the track. So they have to get out, and they have to replace the track. Otherwise, the vehicle has this terrible animation where it starts like lurching around. It looks like Looney Tunes or something. It's actually kind of funny. The vehicle still moves, but it's just very slow and very bad. And it makes the vehicle a very big target. Okay. And so immediately, as soon as the mine went off, and this is how I know that the crews were well drilled, both the guys jumped out at the same time. Okay. It wasn't even like, there wasn't even time to say, oh shit, we got hit by the mine, let's go repair it. It was, mine got hit, they both jumped out immediately and started repairing with their hammers. Okay. I came out with my fucking with my Liar SMG, and I murked one of those motherfuckers. And so the other guy hops in the tank and he starts getting in the turret and he tries to swing the turret around, but I just go back into the darkness. That guy was smart though. He decided to cut his losses. He said, fuck it. He just got in the driver's seat and drove away and did that whole Looney Tunes bullshit back to his base. Just in case the 2 tank crews were in contact during that little episode, I went to the bunker, right? And then the second tank came and it hit another mine. And so they all got out. And from my bunker, I took out a fucking medic. I got a repair guy. And then like there was some guy running up the trench to come punch me or something. He was running like this, and I just instantly turned around. And, oh, you want some too? And then the cavalry arrived, right? I killed 3 people. The tank's all fucked up. I took some grenades off the second guy I killed. I started throwing them at the tank, and then the cavalry arrived, and all these people just started throwing fucking grenades at the tank. And they had no idea what I did. They had no idea that basically I was the reason the tank attack failed. I didn't say anything. One of them was like, "Did you see me kill that tank?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, great job." And I gave him a commend. And I guess that's kind of a fucked up lie, but I want him to feel good about it, even if he didn't really do it. I want him to feel good about the game so that he'll do other things that are good. But that's mines for you, okay? Like they're a very weird weapon, and that's why they work, because you're not just it's not like Battleship, it's like checkers, I guess is what I'm fucking saying, okay? But the pieces don't move. Their pieces move. Yeah, what you get it. It's a fucking mine. There's AT mines. There's another kind of mine, but that's like a mine where you get resources out of. So that's kind of confusing. So yeah, you wanna figure out what the purpose of your base is. You want to figure out where you're gonna put the base, okay? And then you want to figure out how big the base is, okay? How big is your base gonna be? And just remember, right? You're gonna be paying for it, not just with BMATs. now, but G subs later, forever, probably, as long as the war goes on. So the bigger the base is, the more expensive it'll be to keep supplied. Okay, so there is a fine medium, but I'm going to tell you this: unless it's like a main frontline base, um, unless it's just like a main frontline base, you're probably not going to see many G subs there. To be quite honest with you. Okay, so that's another thing, right? And that's what's been on my mind, right? Is base ownership. Okay, nobody owns anything in this game. All right, no, there's no actual ownership. The clans can tell you they own this, they own that. They don't fucking own it. There's no. You can put a sign there with your name on it, but like, look, okay. I'm not saying they don't get to have bases. I'm saying I don't get to have bases either. Okay, like I can build a base. I can put a sign out of it. The one thing you don't want to do, the really bad base etiquette, all right? Basically, you can take whatever you want out of the base, but if you're going to be moving stuff around, you should just be using crates, okay? Do not take things out of frontline bases unless you're using them for that frontline, okay? Do not move them to second line bases unless you're like evacuating or something, but what happens is there's like a lot of motion. There's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of moving things that got those supplies to be there. There's a lot of work. And so basically what you're doing is you're going against that work and it's not coming together harmoniously. You can go pick up stuff and look, I'm going to tell you this. When you load up just individual items in a truck, you're not only wasting your time, you're wasting everyone else's time. Okay, you're wasting everyone's time because it's just taking longer. So please just get things. It's super easy. It's super easy. All you do is you take your truck to the seaport or the depot and you can load it up there and you can get whole crates of stuff. And so instead of like one gun, you can have 10 or 20 guns. Doesn't that sound better? Okay. But yeah, look, I'm in trouble right now because there's some guy, he was like, don't take the Jeep. And I'm like, this is a front line, dude. And yeah, he's in a clan, great. So he got all his clannies to report me, and they that's why I'm making this video right now. Is like, yeah, I can't be online right now, but they don't get it. You don't get to just say that's my, like, I get it. There's like some, if you want to say, right, this is my base, the best way, the most universally agreed way to do that is just build it away from the front line. Go build, there's all that space over there. If you want to base to yourself, go somewhere where no one will bother you. And so that's what I'm talking about is what do you want to do with the base and then where are you going to put it? Okay. If you're going to put your base right in the front line, don't be upset when people start taking shit out of it to go fight. Okay. Especially if you're just there hanging out. Because I see that happen a lot. I see people hoarding shit and just sitting with their hoard. And maybe they're guarding it. I don't know what they're doing. But it's like, brother, this is a fucking video game. Don't you want to be out there killing people? Don't you want to make the grass grow? You know? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I guess if you really want to know how to make a great base, attack one, attack a collie base and see how that goes. Okay. The collies will always, their setups are the exact same. And I guess their setup isn't too different than ours. I don't know if there's necessarily anything too different than ours other than that's their base and it's not our base. And so I look at it differently slightly. But basically, they don't take half measures, I guess. Okay, they take one half measure, and that is that the back of their bases aren't protected. But that's the only half measure that they make. Their bases are typically like, there's two kinds of bases, like one, small, undefended, easy to destroy, or two, nearly insurmountable. If it's nearly insurmountable, it will require artillery and tanks and men on the ground. But if you want to knock out an enemy base, okay, what you need to do is first, well, you need to find it, right? You need to find the location, okay? Next, you need to determine what the purpose of the base is, all right? The collies also build these camps everywhere. It's crazy. They have these little camps everywhere. I don't know if they're being supplied with G-subs or what, but for me, just a partisan, even with the truck of rockets, taking out all those little camps would just be stupid. I don't even think they use the camps. I think the camp is there specifically so that if they ever have to go back or fall back, there's already one right there. But the thing is it would be quite a task keeping all those camps supplied with G-subs, okay? But the camps, okay, so there's those ones, right? When you're taking down a base, you want to get the explosives inside the base when they go off, okay? So the bunker bases, they have that like ramp, and the ramp will usually be tier 1. So you want to shoot the tier 1 wood. Okay? But you don't want to shoot the tier 2 wood or blow up the tier wood. So when your explosives go off, you also want to make sure that the explosives go off in that segment, all right? So the tier 1 looks like Lincoln Log. Like, okay, the tier 1 looks like sticks. The tier 2 bases look like Lincoln Logs, okay? Try not to hit the tier 2 ones. Try to hit the tier 1 ones. The tier 3 look like concrete, all right? You'll be able to tell. But yeah, basically what you want to do is first you want to take out their watchtowers, all right? If you can do this silently, that is perfect. And what I mean by silently is wear a partisan outfit and don't let the tower see you, okay? Just blow it up quickly. Don't fiddle around the tower. It takes 3 mammons or 1 RPG shell to take down the tower, okay? If the last thing that the tower sees is 5 guys there, then the enemy knows it's going to be attacked. They know that place will be attacked, so they might retaliate, okay? The collies have a technology which we do not have or use. It's called Skynet. And basically, anytime one of their towers sees something, a little bot sends a message to someone or a group of people. I don't know which, but they know, okay? So don't ever think that you're not being watched, because you are being watched, okay? When I take out collie bases, what I mainly want to do is I want to take out the towers. Then I take out any easy pillboxes or pillboxes that I just can't get around, okay? And then you go for the core. But here's the tricky part, all right? Here's why bases are tricky, because if it was just fighting against the AI, it would be easy. People call it PvE, player versus enemy, okay? If there's anybody there trying to stop you, they can, okay? And if you're holding like a high explosive grenade, they'll just shoot you. You're going to be holding it. You can throw the grenade at them, but they're going to shoot you. And while the grenade's in the air, they can decide to run away from it or do whatever, okay? So you've got to be versatile between PvE and PvP, okay? You've got to be able to switch between like, oh gosh, there's a defender there. And as soon as there's defenders there, you've almost got to outnumber them, the defenders, or at least how many people are alive. You've got to have one more guy that's not being covered by them to go deliver the bombs. The most terrifying, like the game completely changes late war because the satchel charge comes out, and the satchel charge basically all you want to do is just drop the satchel charge inside the base and leave. Boom. Boom. But if a base is insurmountable, right? If you really feel like if you feel like for example, like Silk Farms is there's just all these G houses. So there's also G houses. They're called G houses, garrison houses, and they come in a variety of shapes and sizes. There's windmill ones, there's bakery ones, there's barn ones, okay? And what they do is there's like a window with a little curtain. Okay. I don't know how to tell if these things have AI or not. I think they always have AI. If they can be built, they always have AI. But don't ever go to the barn thinking it's a nice, safe red barn, because there's a hillbilly up there with a boomstick that will blow your brains out. Okay. Some of the G houses I think have AT. I don't know. Maybe they only have rifles. I don't know. When the G houses go down, they make a stupid noise. It sounds like somebody threw a flask. It makes the flask throwing noise. I don't know why. So me and my friends, we dumped a bunch of rockets into this fucking broken windmill G house because we didn't think it was destroyed. If a base is insurmountable, what you want to do is you want to get their logi. All right. The base has to be supplied at all times. So when you look, you want to find out where, you want to find out how they're getting supplies. You can trace it on the map. Okay. And this is going to be a very lonely mission. Okay. It's going to be a very lonely mission because there's not going to be a lot of people out there with you. But honestly, after having 4,000 hours in Foxhole, I just work better alone. I honestly do. I really like the idea of like a team and there's just certain things in this game you cannot do alone. Okay. So I'm cutting myself off to like 80% of the experience. But I don't know, maybe command just isn't for me because I get what ends up happening, right? Is you need to lead by example, okay? And that means that you're the first person up there. And that means that you're gonna be the first one to see the enemy, you're gonna be the first one to shoot at the enemy, you're gonna be the first one. Like, it's hard to lead in this game because you have to lead a little bit from the back, but that's not leading, right? That's not leadership. So maybe that's something for me to learn. I think I just stumbled on something that I could probably improve my leadership skills. Because the thing is, right, is when you're doing these operations, when you're trying to like destroy the enemy, thanks for listening.